Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second week of Sunday School. We're so excited to see you all again. Last week, we talked about the story of creation and about all the different things that God made in our world. Today, we're going to talk about two people, Cain and Abel, and their story in the Bible. Father Marshall is going to tell us the story, and then Mrs. Brown will show us a craft to go along with it. So Father Marshall, I'll turn it over to you.
Well,
We're
thank
looking
you
forward
so
to hearing the
much.
story.
Absolutely. So if you have a Bible and you'd like to read along with us, you're more than welcome to do it. It's the very beginning of the Bible, the book of Genesis, which is the very first book of the Bible, and it's the fourth chapter. It's the first part of that fourth chapter of the Bible. So if you've got a Bible, you can open it up. And if you have trouble reading, maybe you can ask your parents to help you, or maybe you can help your parents read. You never know. So this is the story of two brothers, and they are the sons of Adam and Eve. And here's the story. Adam knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I've produced a man with the help of the Lord. Next, she bore his brother Abel. Now, Abel kept sheep, and Cain was a tiller of the ground. So one was a shepherd and one was a gardener. In the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground. And Abel, for his part, brought of the firstlings of the flock, their fat portions, the very best parts of the lamb that he had raised. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering. But for Cain and his offering, he had no regard. Cain was very angry. His countenance fell. It's like his face just. The Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? Why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, beware, because sin lurks at the door, knocking. Its desire is for you. But you, Cain, you have to master it. Cain said to his brother Abel, let's go out to the field. When they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, where is your brother Abel? And Cain said back to God, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? The Lord said, what have you done? Listen, your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. So now, when you till the ground, it will no longer yield to you its strength. You will now be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. Cain said to the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Today you have driven me away from the soil, and I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and anyone who meets me may kill me. The Lord said to Cain, not so. Whoever kills Cain will suffer a sevenfold vengeance. And the Lord put a mark on Cain so that no one who came upon him would kill him. And Cain went away from the presence of the Lord, and he settled in the land of Nod, which was east of Eden. There you go. There's the story, Christina.
Wow. When I think about that story, what really stands out to me, what I think about a lot is how we all feel that way sometimes. We all feel angry or jealous of the people closest to us sometimes. Sometimes it's our brothers or sisters or our closest friends. And it could be because maybe they are better than us at something, or that somebody respects them more, thinks that, that something that they did is better than what we did. And it makes us feel bad. It can make us feel angry and jealous. And so just like Cain felt toward his brother. Have you ever felt like that, Father Marshall?
Oh, let me tell you. So I have a sister, and I love my sister very much. My sister is 2 years younger than me. And I have to tell you that I was the favorite in my family for 2 years. And then she came along. And like I said, I love my sister, but from the very beginning, I knew that she was the favorite, and she always would be. And, sometimes it was really hard because my dad trusted her more with responsibility that I thought I deserved, but she got. There were more privileges that came her way. There was more trust that came her way. There was sometimes even more approval that came her way. We joke about it now with the family. They still try to argue that they love us both equally and everything's fine, but both of us say that my sister's the favorite. And that's hard. We've come to a better place now, but that can be hard. That when we were young, that was really difficult. And as a result, my sister hits like a boy, because we would get into some serious fights, and she can hit hard, and it's my fault. But even when I was an adult, even as a priest, you struggle with those feelings. Some colleague gets a larger church or a bigger job, or the bishop calls them more than you get a call for help. You don't feel like your gifts are being used the way they should be. You think that would be true in regular work and in regular jobs and things, but it can happen in the church too. And it's tough, when you have that feeling of not getting something that you feel you deserve, or receiving respect that you feel is due, even when you put something out there. Like Cain gave fruits of his labor to God, and they weren't received the same way. And that's difficult.
It is, yeah. What about you, Mrs. Brown?
I think it's normal to feel that way. I think all of us have had moments where we have felt those type of feelings of jealousy or anger toward our friends or family. I think what's important is how we react to those feelings. I know for me, what I like to do now, certainly different now that I'm older than when I was younger. I like to take a step back and take some time to think about why I'm angry, or what I want to say to somebody, so that I don't say something or do something that could possibly hurt somebody else.
Yeah, that's so important. And that's what God was telling Cain, right? Was to take a step back, Cain, and to think about how you're feeling and handle those feelings before you act on you act before you act, right? And Cain didn't. Cain wouldn't, and so unfortunately he did cause harm to somebody else. But maybe that's something we need to remember God's words then, and to take that step back and think before we act, right? And to maybe pray to God about the feelings we're having. And that makes us then closer to God, and ultimately closer to the people, who we should be close to, instead of hurting them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mrs. Brown, you have a craft for us to do?
I do. So today, what we're going to do is actually print out, this is a outline that I just Googled. It was actually a gingerbread man outline, just so that we can have a body that represents Cain, and also one that represents Abel. And I glued each one to some construction paper. And now I thought, for maybe the younger kids, if parents wanted to type out some of the words and cut them out, so the kids could just glue them to each person, just to help reinforce learning the characteristics of Cain and the characteristics of Abel. And the older kids can go ahead and just write on the outline of the person each characteristic that we're going to talk about. And then afterwards, if you have some crayons, or again, just use whatever you have in your house, be creative. We don't need anybody to go out and purchase anything. You can just decorate it, and then you have like a good visual of what each person represented. So let's think about the words we can use to describe each brother. So for example, we have, what was Cain's job?
He was
So
a
we know
farmer.
Cain was a farmer. Good job, Father Marshall. And what about Abel?
He was a shepherd.
Abel was a shepherd. So we can go ahead and use a marker and just fill in that Abel was a shepherd. Okay. Now, who was older?
Well, I'm the oldest in my family, so I kind of think Cain is the oldest.
Right. So Cain is older. We can either write or glue the word older to his arm. And so then we know that Abel was younger, and we can put that on his arm. He was younger. Now, what did Abel sacrifice for God?
Well, he was a shepherd, right? So I think he sacrificed one of his fattest lambs for God.
That's right. So Abel sacrificed his sheep. So we can go ahead and put sheep on the other arm. So that means Cain was the one who offered his crops. So you can put offered crops or offered fruits and vegetables.
Did you put a basket with vegetables on them too?
I did. That just helps decorate at the end. I also have a little, where is it? Somewhere. Oh, here. My little sheep that'll go.
Oh, I love that.
It'll go on Abel at the end. But yeah, you can go ahead and decorate at the end, however you want to do that. You can draw a face, you can color, you can draw pictures, whatever you want to do to go ahead and decorate. Okay, so the next one. Whose sacrifice pleased God?
It wasn't Cain.
It wasn't. You're right. So Abel's sacrifice pleased God. So we can go ahead and write that right down here. Sacrifice pleased God. And for Cain, we know that his sacrifice did not please God.
Not so much.
Not so much. So now my next question is, what did Cain do because of his jealousy? What did Cain do?
We need some game show music, don't we?
Well, Cain killed his brother.
I like how neither one of us really wanted to say that.
Just went right for it. Cain killed his brother.
Yeah.
So then we know poor Abel was killed by his brother. So we will put killed by his brother. So now we have a little representation of what each brother did. And we know that even though these two shapes are the same and they came from the same people, there are so many things that make them different, right? Just like the rest of us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Brown. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week for our Sunday school lesson. And we hope you have fun doing the craft. And we're looking forward to seeing you again next week.
What's our story next week, Mrs. Johnson, Moffat Johnson?
I think next week is the story of Noah and the flood.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, that's a good
I love
one.
rainbows.
Rainbow.
That's a teaser. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe.